I appreciate you joining us here. We're talking about leadership this week, and that's kind of our theme. And you're the captain of Team USA these days. I'm just curious. How would you describe your leadership style? What does it mean to be a captain to Jesse Smith?
Okay. Yeah, I got the opportunity to be a leader on the team right now, and we have a lot of guys that are leaders, and I'm, last tournament and currently occupying the role of captain. I think for me that means that I try to be the glue to speak up, to get other people to speak up, and to try to take whatever the coach is doing and be accountable to say, hey, are we doing what the coach wants? Are we all on the same page? And if we're not, then, I'm willing to point that out, and I have the experience to do that. So I think mostly that's my role. And I'm having a lot of fun learning about it. It's been a huge opportunity for me to reach out to all the people I know that are super successful and try to emulate them. Kind of.
You talked about your family, right? And so you and your wife have a bunch of young kids. I'm sure there's a way that you try and lead that young group, but then you're kind of the older guy on this water polo team too. Do you ever find you're kind of putting on your dad hat when you're talking to the water polo guys?
Um, no, I think for the group that we have, a variety of ages and experience levels, but I never have the dad hat on. Um, no, I think it's more of just like, because I have a lot of experience, that I've seen a lot of stuff happen, and just being willing to stand up and say, hey, things aren't working, or stand up and say, hey, this is good, and provide positive feedback to everyone. Probably more that hat. So with my kids, right now, I feel like my wife does most of the teaching, I guess. So I don't know. I don't have the dad hat on for the team at all.
We're talking with Jesse Smith, a four-time Olympian for Team USA, trying to go for number five in Tokyo next summer. You have been around this team, as you mentioned, a while. When you think back to your early days, when you're trying to make that 2004 team, who was your captain then, and what did you like about the way that they tried to lead that group?
Wolf Ligo, the coach of Santa Barbara, was the captain, and super talented player. And we had also in that group, we had a lot of other very influential players. And I think I don't know how I describe his captainship. I think that all the captains, Tony and Wolf, have been, they're really good water polo players, and they care about the team a lot, and they're authentic in that. So I think that's a really good model to emulate, that, that you care, and that you're, takes responsibility for your actions. And I think that's a good guide.
You played not only for a lot of teams in the U.S. over the years, different national teams, that sort of thing over the years, but a lot of people know you played abroad, right? You played in multiple countries. I know it's a very different setup from, say, Pepperdine or from the national team, but was it similar on those teams as far as there was a set leader? Was there a captain of those groups? Were teams in different countries led different ways?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, I played water polo in Europe, 10 different teams. Uh, 8 of them won the, local national championships. And we competed in Champions League, which is the two best teams from every European country, many times. And right now, we had Alex Bowen was playing with Mladost in Croatia, one of my teammates, Alex. And it's just there's so many different styles of water polo, that even though it's in each country, in each local like region, kind of in California, versus Southern California, NorCal, maybe there's different varieties of play. But yeah, there's tons of different leadership. What I think that the successful leaders, that they all emulate the authentic leadership by, being accountable, by trying to provide feedback. So the successful leaders, I think, there's less variety within that. But yeah, there's a lot of different personalities and stuff. You get to introduce your own style into it for sure. I've also had a lot of coaches. I've had a ton of great coaches right now. I saw you had Dan on here yesterday. Dan's an amazing coach. He's coached the best players in the world, and he's trying to help us get to that level. And I think he's been doing a great job. Some of our youngest players are the best in the world. We got Ben Halleck. He's a force to be reckoned with internationally. and he still has another year of eligibility. So the future is wide open. He's one of the, you could say he's best center in the world.
Good. We will. We'll say Ben's the best right now to do it for Team USA. We're talking with Jesse Smith here, Olympian, member of Team USA, went to Pepperdine, taking some time out to talk to us about leadership and about all things water polo. Not everyone can be the captain, right? Not everyone can score all the goals. What are other ways people can maybe lead by example, even if it's not a vocal way or a stats way, but a way that they can be a valuable member of the team?
That's a great point. I mean, on our team, I'm a defender, and I happen to be the captain. And I think that that's a challenge that that you step up to if you feel like you can contribute, in the same way that you step up to roles if you can contribute. So for teams, the dynamics for it, everyone needs to actively step up to take the role that they're given and then do it really, really well. So I know you're having Maggie on here after this, and that's something that the women's team is amazing at. The way they work together, we're trying to get there to find the success that they've had. And when you watch them play, you can see that everyone does their role really, really well. And I think our team is on its way to doing that. And we have an amazing coaching staff, and we have good defenders, we have good goalies, we have good attackers, we have a diverse group of players. So I think for us, we're all really excited. We're really, with all the tragic uncertainty with this coronavirus, we're really optimistic about the future, that the Olympics next year are going to be amazing for all sports. I think that everyone's going to come out of this. I know our team's thinking that way, that come out of this and set new world records, be the best you can be, and kind of let us athletes out the gate kind of thing. So yeah, I think it just, every player steps up to how they can help. Like, that's something that I try to do. The reason I'm still playing and I enjoy it so much is because I think I'm uniquely situated to contribute to the group, and that we have an amazing, talented group, and I want to be part of that journey.
You brought up a great point. Last week was our college themed week. We talked with 5 different college coaches. Almost every one of them, regardless of level, Division I, club, JC, whatever it was, all of them talked about being adaptable and kind of filling a role. And I'm wondering, for you, you've been on this team so long, how has your role changed over time, and how have you been willing to kind of accept whatever they needed you to do?
No, I started when I was a kid. I was a center, and I remember playing. I tell a story because I've been talking to tons of teams. Like, I know all my national teammates have been talking with tons of different clubs throughout the United States on Zoom, and because it's great to stay connected to everyone any way we can. And so I think I was a center when I was young, and I first got on a national team. They had extremely good centers. Ryan Bailey, who was my teammate for a long time, and they had Jeff Powers. They had a huge, also amazing pool of older players from the 2000 Olympics. And so I wasn't better than those players. So the coach said we need more defenders. And so I tried that, and we had a great group of defenders going into 2004. And so I learned from those guys, and it's just really fun being part of a team where everyone is trying, working really hard.
Getting some good questions in here now. One that just came in: how did you get selected as captain for this current USA team?
That's a good question. The way I got selected, I think the coach ultimately decides who the captain is. So I would say just the same way the coach decides the Olympic team, and we qualify as a group, and then the team is named by the coach. So the coach ultimately, he's the boss, and then the entire group of USA Water Polo, right? We're one country that we're trying to represent all the water polo players in the U.S. And so I'm the captain right now, and I think that part of that's building consensus with the group. So the captain's just a position, and I think that for our team we have a lot of leaders, and that every single person needs to step up and be a leader, because first you got to lead yourself. And so I think the coach ultimately is the decision maker about that.
Next question from Capo Valley Water Polo. Any advice for people at the high school level who are in that same leadership position?
Yeah, I mean, I was a captain in high school. I was a captain at college, and I think the most important thing is to try to do better. Looking back, I could have done a much, much, much better job, not just as based on success in the game, but based on how it's just such a you can make it as big as of a role as you want, and ultimately, gosh, being a captain, you're super lucky that you get an opportunity to grow as a leader. That's something that I feel like it's really a unique opportunity, and so you're super lucky if you get that responsibility. Um, how to get better at it is to look what other successful leaders are doing. I know I have it now. Like I never had this when I was younger, when I was in college, but now that I've been to 4 Olympics, I do have people that they're my mentors, and I was on. Actually, I got a message this morning from one of them that's he's in the armed forces, and he sent me a song. We just touched base. He sent me a song to fire me up today. Super patriotic, and I know that there's just different types of people that at different moments you need them. We need it just like water polo is a team, and you need each other to win. Business and life, it's a team sport, and so get a good group of people with you. So I would recommend answer the question, to be a good leader, you need to get good mentors.
Talking with Jesse Smith here, some good advice on leadership. Member of the men's national team, four-time Olympian. You talked about playing at all these Olympics. You're trying to make one more. You've achieved the dream for many 4 times over, right? To go to 4 Olympic Games, you have a medal from Beijing. What is it that keeps you going after this? Why are you staying in this grind to try and make it back for Tokyo?
Okay, I think that most importantly that because I have so much experience, and like you said, I had 4 Olympics, that I really do feel like I have a unique set of skills and experiences to contribute to the group, and also playing my role. I love being a center defender and working with usually the Americans. We have one of the best goalies in the world, so generally playing with a great goalie and great teamwork, great defenders makes our job as a center defender a lot easier. So I enjoy that a lot about our American teams in general. They have always had that, and no, I don't think my goal is to make the Olympics next year. I wouldn't say that. I'd say my goal is for us as a group to contribute the best that I can to help our team win a medal. And I think that that's really powerful that our group, because we have 20 guys trying out training, and I think that's an important thing that no, our U.S. team, we're ninth in the world. Uh, we're not favored to win a medal, but I think because we all believe in our coaches and we all believe in each other, that we're going to try our best. And I'm really proud of that. I think that even this, staying at home, we've used this as an opportunity to develop a lot of the mental aspects that we probably wouldn't normally work on. So my goal is to help our team win a medal. I think that it's a really tough goal, but that our team's capable of it, and we have, we're going to give it our best, and I'm super excited about that.
You are like many athletes out there. You're out of the pool. Your team isn't practicing together. You're doing Zoom calls and remote workouts and everything. How is the USA men's national team handling this postponement of a year and having to all work remotely?
So they were really quick. We have our coaching staff was really quick to get us up on using remote workouts. We use Bridge Athletics app to deliver the content from our coaches, and we've been using that for a couple of years. It's a really cool program. Bridge Athletics, you can check that out. And you probably know about that, but everyone can check that out if you see this. You're listening to Bridge Athletics. It's pretty cool. Usually, it's for pro teams, but we're using it. And then we have Zoom calls every day. We've been doing some video. We work with Brian Alexander, our sports psychologist, and we meet with our coaches. So we've been really quick to engage. Our staff has, and so that's how we're doing it.
Excellent. Just continuing to grind. And was it tough to handle that news? I'm sure you're a little bit preparing for the possibility of a postponement, but how'd you handle the final news that the Olympics wouldn't happen this year?
For sure, the unknown is scary. Everyone in the U.S. and in the entire world, we're all dealing with that. Even not knowing when this is going to be over or what's happening with it. And I think that as an athlete, and our team, we just have to choose, to be positive, to do what you can. And I think that that's been our tactic. And personally, yeah, the unknown for me, it's okay to admit, like, yeah, sometimes it's depressing to have things postponed and canceled and plans change. I know a lot of people have lost their jobs. I was playing in Greece, and that, it looks like I probably won't be going back there. And but at the same time, I'm super excited because I really do believe that the Olympics next year, I'm holding out for like the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that's going to bring it to the whole world because that's what it's all about, right? It's about the entire world competing, peacefully with fair play, and so our sport embodies that. So I think that all the water polo players I've talked to, I think I had 53 scheduled Zooms in the like 3 weeks that I got a little bit overwhelmed. And but I did, even with one group, we just did Peloton. We signed on, did the free. Right now, Peloton has a free 3-month period, and the body weight exercise. I mean, it's just fun to connect, And my kids have been crushing the internet, so my internet connection is horrible because they're all getting homeschooled, So
Yeah. So all these teams you've talked to, is there a most frequently asked question? Is there something you feel like you're repeating all the time that people want to know?
all the guys, girls and guys that I've talked to, and the coaches, and it's everyone in USA Water Polo. I've seen that the at home version of the USA Water Polo. There's a lot of really cool interviews like this one on there. But no, the most common thing is actually like I'm super enthusiastic. I'm really casual, but I feel strongly about a couple of things, and so trying to share that and catch attention across generations, and like it's how do you find motivation, I guess, is the most common question. uh that's it.
And what's your answer?
So my answer to that, because I'm so enthusiastic and because I'm trying to have fun with all these calls, is two parts. It's first, just to make the decision, and by that I mean to say, okay, yes, this stinks. It's not it's not great to be stuck at home, and then use, I've been using the question, hey, what's 20 positive things that happened today, or any type of creative brain work process where you sit and write, fill a page up with notes, anything that kind of, but with a positive, like choose a positive, something that builds positivity. So I guess that's been my answer, but it kind of depends on the group and what the vibe is. I try to do challenges with kids. Like recently, like New York Athletic Club I play for them, and they've been a huge supporter of a lot of Olympians on our team for, gosh, I mean, for me since 2004. And we had a phone call recently. So I think just connecting with people and knowing that it's okay, but to choose like, hey, how can this be an opportunity versus, that was a really long answer, sorry, but
No, it's great.
out loud. So I was like, I don't know, how do I answer that? It kind of varies. It changes, but yeah, there's tons of exercises that a lot of really successful people have out there. You can look at Brian Alexander's. He has an app, Well You, or on his Instagram or Twitter. I mean, it kind of depends.
Uh, Based off your last answer, we just have a question that came in, and I think part of this is just your personality. But how do you stay enthusiastic?
That's How do I stay enthusiastic? Well, it's an interesting question. It's definitely, sometimes I'm not fired up, but I generally am, and I think that the main reason is that identifying it, by identifying that that's something that I've demonstrated over the years, and I don't know how it started, but it's like, okay, I have that, and I realized that when I sit down, and the last 3 years I didn't play water polo. This year I went to Greece, but the 3 years before that I didn't go abroad, and I've been planning my next career, and doing a lot of educational stuff. And the first thing that everyone recommends is, hey, what are your strengths? Find out why you do stuff. What drives you? And so for me, having fun while putting in hard work is something that drives me. Like, how do I enjoy this even though it's difficult? And by finding like different small ways that things can be fun, whether that's swimming 2200s, like how is that possibly fun?
Yeah.
Uh, but look at all these swimmers. They love swimming. You know, it's like the running high when you're running, and so I think that identifying that's the first step. You know, it's tough to fake it. You know, you have to be honest about it. So maybe I love water polo. I love playing. I love being in the ocean. I love the water. So it's good that I play.
Well, if you're feeling down on yourself, you should know that Maggie Steffens just entered the chat and she says that you're a star. So
Oh, thanks, Maggie. Yeah, Maggie's amazing. You know, I think that yeah, we have a good group of people, being around great people. Our sport, like everyone you meet in our sport, they really seem like that they love it.
look, we really appreciate you taking the time, and I know you have a lot going on, but thanks for spending some time with us, and we're looking forward to seeing you back on the pool deck soon.
Yeah, that was so much fun, Greg. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that the internet started working, or I don't know what happened in the beginning, but I'll stick around and listen to you interview Maggie. That should be good. I'm gonna stay here so I can learn some stuff.